Alright, hopefully I can do this without my capture software being a pain in the ass. I'm gonna probably get some new. I have to get some new capture software anyway. This Ezvid's not gonna cut it because I do want to make like a really nice trailer for the game and get some nice video editing software, so like a movie making software. To really make like a nice trailer for this game too. So I'm gonna get rid of this stuff soon. So anyway, Dan, buttons are amazing. These blew my mind when I saw them today. I haven't implemented the New Game Plus button yet, but I will. I'm still toying around with the idea on whether or not I even want to give New Game Plus to the Flash version. I have to play test and just see how long the game is. I mean, it seems like a lot that we're giving away for free for the Flash version. I got to make that call. I want to make sure that the Steam version, if we end up doing one, has a whole bunch of extra features. I don't want to like dangle a carrot in front of the player's face, being like, "Oh, thanks for playing for a couple hours. Now buy the real version." But that's kind of like the name of the game if you want to make any kind of money. So I probably will end up doing New Game Plus for the Flash version, but really reworking it and really spending a lot more time on it if we get this deal for the Steam version and making it a lot better for the Steam version. But anyway, really love the buttons, man. Everything looks good. I tweaked this text event. I'm really fighting the urge to ask you to go ahead and make a big lettering that says save to kill, because now this text event, it's weird. Like this text event, I need it because I use it so much. I use it, here I use it where my mouse is, and I use it in the vortex a lot. So it's like I want to introduce that text event to the player, and it seems like every which way we kind of start all the buttons we make and all the things that we do to the game to make it look better end up taking more and more of this text away. So it's like I really am toying around with the idea of doing a different title screen that says "Safe to Kill" with that like kind of lettering. But to be honest with you, man, it's like I need to introduce this lettering to the player and keep it consistent in the game, or it'll start to look out of place. So I'd be curious what your thoughts are on that. Anyway, yeah, these buttons are all in. They look great. You can see how everything's hovering, everything's working. We're a little scrunched in here. And again, this is like my computer, I think. Like I've played this game on a different computer and the screen actually fits perfectly in here. So I don't know why my computer screen cuts out a little bit of the top and the bottom. But everything's in there and everything looks good. And I fixed that little glitch with the there was a little bit of a bug with the crossbows, and everything is currently working. And right now I've got some data stuff like up here for playtesting purposes and balancing and everything. But anyway, everything's looking good. So what I think what we'll do is, for right now we can move on to actually let me get out of here and redo the two things. We could do the coffin, update the coffin a little bit. You had said that you wanted to do a different color, and I totally agree. And it was my fault from the very get-go of giving you that one image to go off of. It was very wooden looking. I think we might want to go with like a more modernized looking coffin. So I'm pretty much up for anything. I do think that the coffin as of now looks a little out of place. It's going to pop up here in a second. Maybe we go with more, instead of it being like old rustic wood, we go to like a more modern casket where it's like a shinier, almost metallic looking. I mean, it can be whatever color you think would look good. I don't know if we want to go with like a black, but if you did like a black shiny casket, but really outline this trim with the gold or whatever you think that would make this casket look a little bit more modernized. We can get on to doing that. I mean, it actually really doesn't even look that bad. So whatever you were thinking to kind of spruce this casket up to make it a little bit more modern looking, we can get into. We can get into that. I need to click the screen first, and then I was going to get into the HUD. Okay, so for the HUD, basically. I wanted it to be kind of a picture of the cross. So picture of like a cross, you know, like the cross we're using, it's a vampire kind of theme thing. And then we also have that cross for the ultimate attack. Since since this whole bar revolves around special moves and you can unleash your ultimate, I think that it'd be kind of cool if this was like the HUD. Now, this bar can be actually a little bit longer, and I'll get into why. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to anchor this to the screen, and when you anchor the actors onto the screen, drawing events actually go behind the anchored actors, so that will allow me to draw within this. This will be transparent. I put this like box around this rectangle for the special bar, and that can be solid black. That'll allow me to kind of fade in the lines, because I'm going to have a drawing event behind it, which is going to be essentially the same bar that you see. It's just going to fit whatever transparency you give me here. I can make it wider, I can make it longer, I can make it pretty much any size, and then it'll, you know, calculate the special meter as it does now. And I probably will keep even the blue color too. Just because we're introducing more of a blue color in with the boss buttons and the title screen now, so I like the blue. And then this cross is, you know, it can replicate the ultimate attack. It most certainly does not have to be as intricate as the ultimate attack cross at all. It can just be like a silhouette or just an outline of it, but I would like it to have like the same kind of shape. You can see I did like this little doodad over here where it, you know, it has like a little pointy cross. So there's going to actually be 3 animations to this HUD as well. There's going to be the default, which is going to be this roughly, and like I said, I want it to be a little bit longer, maybe out to where my mouse is. You know, whatever you think will fit on our screen as well, as far as like the actual pixel size of this. And then this rectangle will be transparent. I need this to be completely transparent and blocked out here, so I can do the drawing event of the rectangle behind it. And the reason why I would like a nice thick black border here is just so it'll be a little bit easier for me to line up my rectangle. You know what I mean? Like I can, behind the scenes, if this is like a thicker border around it, almost like a picture frame, or just, you know, it can just be a black border, that'll allow me behind the scenes, my drawing event can, you know, I'll be able to line it up a little bit better without having to make my rectangle absolutely perfect, just to make sure that it doesn't conflict with any other sprites. Like if you did some transparency within this cross or whatever, it could conflict. Or you might not do transparency. I don't know how you want to, however you want to do it. This could be a solid cross, and in which case it wouldn't matter. But anyway, it'll just be a lot easier for me to line up my drawing event if we got a little bit of a border here. So yeah, that being said, you know, I got like the circle. I got kind of tired of coloring this in, so you know, it could be a cross with just a circle here. So there'll be a default animation, and then there'll also be a blacked out animation. It's kind of like our buttons, because I want to, when the player is unable to do any kind of special attack, maybe not rolling, because rolling takes such a little amount of special, but when they're unable to do a sword attack or a dash attack, I'd actually like to change the animation to like a blacked out animation, just to, and I might even do give the player a little audio cue, just to let them know, like, hey, you know, you can't use your special attacks right now, just because, you know, I'm sure you've probably done it while playing the game, and I've done it while playing the game, where, you know, you go to dash attack someone or sword attack someone and you can't. And then you end up taking damage. So I just want to visually stimulate the player and let them know that, hey, you don't have enough to do a sword attack or a dash attack, which is easy for me to program. Then the third animation for it will be the ultimate, and this is my artistic rendition of what I think it could be. You know, basically just blinking. We can maybe make it flash. You know, we don't actually have to get into like making, like, you know, icicles coming off the damn thing, but it can just be flashing. It can get brighter, you know, and just, it can be animated and blinking to let the player know. And I might even actually change the color of the, like, whatever you kind of do here, whatever color scheme you do with this animation, I might actually change the color of the bar too, when it's at maximum. Just another visual stimulant to the player, and I'll probably definitely have an audio cue, you know, when they hit it, and they're, you know, so everyone knows when they can hit their ultimate. And then since we're on a roll here, we might as well get right into the reason I wanted you to make this bar a little bit longer here is so we can fit the other part of the HUD, which is going to be the way I display lives. Right now I just use a simple drawing event, but I do want to do some animations. I absolutely love, I love this heart that you did, this gemmed heart. Originally I was even toying around with it. I remember saying in my one video of using a small picture of the guy's face. I think what I'll rather would do is I'd take this gem heart and run with it. It's going to have to be smaller, probably much smaller, because what we'll do is I'll anchor that part of the HUD within this space here, and that's why I want this rectangle to be a little bit bigger, just so we can fit it all in. We've got to fit. I'm going to max the players' lives at 10. I think any more than that starts to, you know, defeat the purpose of the game, makes it a little too easy to tank through the entire level. So if we made this special bar a little bit longer, and I should have drew that in, and I'm sorry that I didn't, and then it would just be enough to hold 5 hearts. So here's a mock layout of what a fully maxed health bar would look like. This would be, so we need 10 different animations for this, and they all need to be within the same transparency, like we've discussed many times before as far as doing animations. And this is just a little mock layout of what the animations would look like. As you can see here, here's the maximum one where it's got 10 hearts in a row, and then here's the 9, but it's all in the same exact transparency and all marked out. I messed up here and I etched that one out. So, and then you hear here's 7, so there's 5 down there, and there's 2 down there, and then here's 5 down here, there's 1 up there, and then coming into the other ones where we don't need the top row, but we still keep the transparency that we're working with consistent, and then all the way down. So like you can see right here, my mouse is, you know, like down here, it's this box represents the transparency, and then there's just 2 measly hearts. This way, when as the player's losing lives, I can do an updating event that'll switch, you know, animations appropriately. You know, and that can just be anchored right in. Well, I don't even need to anchor it because the camera doesn't really move at all. And then you'll see these little hearts. So that being said, you know, everything needs to kind of fit to scale. I really like the idea of just, you could probably just take this heart sprite and shrink it down. I probably would say, you know, play around with this space here, you know, because it can be fairly large. Like, I don't mind if it takes up like this whole area where my mouse is. Well, you know, I mean, use your judgment. I mean, you know, you've played the game a lot. You know, that part of that particular part of the screen doesn't really even get used often. You know, but I also don't, you know, I don't want the person to, if they do get in here, get confused. Now, I mean, I'm going to actually probably anchor it onto a different layer, so if the player does fly over here, they will be on top of everything. But, you know, I mean, we don't want to take up too much real estate, but it can be pretty large, because I want to make sure people, you know, what's going on with their special bar. It's a really important part of the game. So, you know, you can do like a little mock layout on the screen and see whatever is big enough, and then that'll kind of allow you to dictate how big you make these hearts. All right, man, sorry, that was kind of a lot thrown at you, but I'm not really going to get another chance to make a video for a little bit, and I really wanted to make sure we can get a couple of things rolling here. All right, man, later.